Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to talk to you about the underlying causes of the COVID-19 virus. Now, I recognize that as a pastor, not coming from this at a deep medical perspective. My wife is a nurse, and we've done our best over the years to research and study health, physical health, and to keep ourselves and our family as healthy as we can with diet and exercise. But put on your spiritual lens for a moment. Also, just take into consideration this study that I have in front of me. I want to read an article that speaks about provides some raw data from a study performed. This was a study published by the Journal of American Medical Association that looked at 5,700 people that were hospitalized with the highly infectious disease COVID-19. The study, which was really recent, is based on patients in New York City, found that 94% of the patients had at least one underlying illness. The most common disease was hypertension, which was, in other words, high blood pressure. And it affected more than 53% of all patients. Next was obesity, affecting 42%. And third on the list was diabetes, affecting 32%. So 88% of the patients suffered from more than one of these underlying illnesses. 88% had more than one. And just looking at hypertension for a moment, they also quoted here that over 100 million Americans suffer from this medical condition, which is about 50% of all adults. In 2017, the article said that high blood pressure resulted in the death of about 500,000 people, which was well over 1,000 people every single day. Unfortunately, this disease is preventable, as is a number of diseases in which Americans die from every single year. And this is kind of the purpose of the article. Hypertension, which increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, which are two of the leading causes of death in Americans. And even COVID-19, the underlying cause is the same, regardless. And that cause, according to the article, is our lifestyle. They found that essentially, medically speaking, 75% of what people struggle with, whether it's hospital-related, medication, death, is preventable. So the world today is clamoring for a vaccine. We're looking to enlarge government as the solution to our problems. Some magical pill, and trillions of dollars have been poured into this problem in order to find a solution, when in reality, everything that we're doing is kind of on the surface level, and it's futile to expect significant results without addressing the underlying problem, which is diet. And if you look at obesity, heart disease, hypertension, and many of the leading causes of death in America, and many of the underlying causes that are contributing to death in light of the COVID-19 virus that we're facing, really comes down to added sugars in your diet. Foods like soda, cookies, cakes, energy drinks, processed foods with artificial ingredients. And it compromises our immune system. We're as Americans, we're very unhealthy, compromised immune system. And another another virus or another disease comes along and kind of tips the bucket away from our favor. So toxins, poisons, wrong diet. In reading this article, I was personally convicted to examine, where we stand as a family in terms of what we eat on a daily basis. And just consider this from a spiritual perspective for a moment. It says the underlying cause of sickness is breaking God's physical laws. So today's society habitually breaks these laws through the intake of unhealthy and sugary foods. And the penalty for breaking God's universal law is sickness. It just only makes sense. So government and healthcare systems are never going to be able to solve the underlying issue. They'll be able to put a Band-Aid on the effects of sickness, but the underlying cause remains untreated. It's kind of like trying to plug holes, a leaking bucket, just try to plug the holes. So we are so conditioned, and I'm guilty of this as well, we're so conditioned of eating a sugary packed diet every single day that leaves us susceptible to disease that it's going to be really extremely difficult to change that. But I think if you do the research as I am, I think that we're finding that those who are healthiest have much greater chances of riding this disease than those who have compromised immune systems and are struggling with multiple underlying illnesses or diseases. So I don't know if you can take a moment to think about, how can I eat less sugar? How can I eat healthier, more organic, all natural foods in my diet on a daily basis? Maybe write down 3 things. What's 3 things that you could change? Now, as a family, we exercise about 6 times a week, which is about either through cardio or weight training, lifting, various classes. We have the kids run. I run regularly. And today just happens to be Wednesday, which is the fasting day for the entire family. So we go 24-hour period from Tuesday night to Wednesday night, fasting. And frankly, I haven't gotten a single hunger pain all day. I've been doing this for years now. And I feel great. On fasting day, we just drink water. We have some vitamins. This is one of the reasons why Kristen has stepped out as a distributor of Juice Plus. So that's kind of her business and her desire to help people walk in health and to secure for us an organic source of dozens of fruits and vegetables, ground up vitamins, minerals, all of that we take regularly as a family. So that's one thing that we do. But exercise and just eating healthy, trying to have vegetables and fruits on a daily basis, multiple times a day. So letting the kids snack on carrots. We've got a whole huge box of green beans that were going bad that were given to us, and kids use that as a snack as well. So I want to challenge you to think about, to examine your eating patterns and to see what tweaks, what minor changes you can make. If you can do major things, that's great, but just what's a few steps that you can take to walk in the right direction if, in fact, many of those who are dying from COVID-19 have underlying symptoms, and if those underlying issues are predominantly diet related. So weather is warming up. How can we get more exercise? How can we eat healthier? Maybe do a little bit of research and consider the laws of God. You reap what you sow. As we have sown to our physical health, we will reap the consequences of that. And many of us are lazy by nature. And so it's difficult to discipline our eating habits and discipline our physical exercise. But in the long run, it would do us great good if we could make gains in this particular area. So hopefully this video gave you some things to think about as we navigate these uncharted waters with this virus that's facing the country. My wife and I are just operating as normal. We literally have not changed a single thing at all. And we're unconcerned. I have no fear at all, both from a spiritual perspective and also from a physical perspective, as we trust God and as we do what we can in the physical realm to walk with the greatest amount of wisdom possible. I wish you the best on your current research and further research on this subject, and may God grant you some insight as to what changes He wants you to make to become healthier both spiritually and physically during this time. Bless you.